Hey everyone, it's Shikari Dill here, and you'll notice I'm doing a bit of a different setup here. You'll notice the video is longer, so I've gotten some feedback from some of you guys that you want to see the woes of my skill card rolls. So I thought I would just do a longer format video and just kind of, we'll see how this goes. If you end up enjoying this video, then feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I don't usually say hit the bell, but I'll say it this time, hit that bell. I feel weird saying that. So let me clue you in on what I want to do, right? Okay, so here's what we got. So basically, I was thinking a Shadow Hunter build, and so you're going to go through all these woes, all these, we'll see. Regardless of how this build turns out, in the end, I'm going to throw this video up because that's really honestly the truth is no matter how many prestige runs I do, it could either go really bad sometimes or really good. So regardless of how well this build ends up being, I'm going to throw it up on YouTube anyway so you guys can see what goes into making a build, work. I hope I'm entertaining. Please let me be entertaining for this video to work. Alright, so just as a quick overview of what I'm going to try to go for is we've got this enchant Harbinger of Pestilence. What it does is it turns your insect swarm into a plague, a disease spell, dealing plague damage. Just this kind of a unique effect to Ascension, is this whole plague mechanic, this whole plague damage type. It's a mixture of shadow and nature, and it just takes whatever, is higher for you. So if you're a shadow build, it'll just take your shadow spell modifier. Your insect swarm deal this plague damage, and your wrath will now increase the damage of diseases on your target. So you dot them up with insect swarm, you hit them with the wrath, and you buff it up, and then your haunts will also do like this big AoE explosion of disease damage around the target. So there's kind of an AoE component built into the enchant. So you look at this and you would think this is kind of a caster build, and it is. Though I think there's a way we could also turn this into a hunter build. Yeah, I know it sounds interesting, but so we take Shadow Arrow and we combine it with Shadow Form. We should be pumping out some pretty big shadow damage. And that's kind of my idea for making it into a hunter build. And the cool thing about this idea that I've got is if the hunter portion doesn't work out, we could totally just pivot into just a normal caster shadow build. So I think there's something there. So if all goes wrong with the cards and the rolls and knowing my luck sometimes, I'm no exception. It's a bummer, but we can pivot into a shadow caster role instead of the hunter if we need to. I've messed around with this enchant Wild Wrath before. If you've seen my other videos, you'll know that I've done a video on a hunter ranger spell power type build. Wild Wrath is really cool because when you deal damage with the talent Wild Quiver, we'll be able to get our wraths to be instant casted and scale with our attack power. And it'll be interesting to see if we can get our Wild Quiver off enough times to stack up the buff for our insect swarm plague. So we'll see how it goes. I am indeed, I'm ashamed to say it, a loot hoarder. Yeah, I have a problem. I hold on to everything. I look at something, I'm like, Cloak of the Gathering Storm. I could use that later. I mean, it's pretty decent, right? I could use it if I go for a Call of the Elements build. Call of the Ancestors build, right? Right? I think I got everything ready. Got a XP potion. You all know the drill. Pretty basic stuff. Not bad, not bad. Oh yeah, make sure. I've made the mistake once of prestiging on a build that I didn't want to prestige on. And that was really crappy, and I had to redo that. So, sorry, Mutilate Rogue build. I think I'm going to be re-rolling you. Fun build, but it's really not that hard to get going again if I ever want to make it in the future. Alright, so here we are. We're at level 1. Get this tutorial out of my way. They should probably get rid of this if you're prestiging for like the 10th time, 13th, 14th time. So we're doing that hunter build that I showed you. So ideally we're going to be looking for... Oh, let me do my skill cards first before I forget. That's something I know I would forget to do. And unfortunately, because I'm so broke, I really don't have that many golden skill cards. So I think I'm just going to stick with Fell Armor, which is not ideal. And I have Elemental Mastery from way back when I did my Stormborn build, if you remember that video. If you're into world content, Tame Beast would be okay. Pets are kind of bad unless you put talents into them. So, yeah, definitely not worth the epic in our case, because I just kind of want to do a endgame PvE build. But if you're into open world content, Tame Beast might be helpful. Okay, so we got Life Tap and Auto Shot. I mean, these are both good for a Hunter build. So basically, Life Tap I like to take at level 1 because it allows us to pivot into multiple different positions. You know, it's great for, like, you know, unless you're dead set on doing like a pure physical damage warrior type build. I think Life Tap is just a generally good level 1 skill to take, so I'm probably going to go ahead and take that. We do want Auto Shot again, so we're going to keep rolling for Auto Shot because our build is going to be a Hunter build, and we kind of need it for Wild Quiver. Nice. Okay, so we got Summon Imp. I usually wouldn't take Summon Imp either. Imp is such an easy way to just get free spell power right off the bat, and because I'm doing like a hybrid of a caster / Hunter build that uses dots, we're probably going to want spell power, not just a pure attack power based build. So Aspect of the Hawk might be pretty decent. You know, I need that posture check toy that so you can buy on there for 1 donation point, because then I can remind myself and the whole server to straighten your backs. I mean, it's important. Need a better chair. Look at this. Oh. So anyway, this is just typical 1 to 15 stuff. I'm just gonna get there so I can get into a Fan of Knives group and just start doing my prestige run and all. Wait, I wonder what happens when you turn off the firebolt for your imp. Is it just gonna like... Oh, it just follows them? That's funny. Well, sorry to say that a melee imp build will not work. You heard it here first. Okay, so I just hit 15. I'm gonna see if I can't use my first Hand of Fate to see if we can't hit Flame Tongue weapon or Rock Biter weapon. So please, 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 give me something here. Give me something here. And we got nothing. Alright, so it turns out it's pretty easy to get a group when you're a healer. I have Greater Heal. I know what you're thinking, but aren't you going DPS for your main final product? Yes, however, you can kind of cheese it as a healer. I've got some starting gear. I bought some greens. I've got some stuff to swap to, like higher level weapons. And then I'm gonna yeah, should be pretty easy, straightforward run. It's alright, big chillin' so far. Pretty easy. Usually I don't see people taking this dungeon as the route for the prestige run, but you know, whatever works. Alright, 53. 53, we do prison spam, and we're good to go. Oh, 59, we're at the last stop. Alright, everyone, and that is level 60. So now comes the fun part where we get to unpack all my spells. We get to do all of the Hands of Fate, and we're going to see what I get. I was so busy healing this whole time, I didn't even get to unpack the spells we would get naturally for leveling, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. Personally, I want to stay away from epics and stuff until I figure out exactly what I really want. I don't think Last Stand is going to be too helpful for us. Here's our Black Arrow. You'll notice that we're picking up a lot of spells and abilities that cost talent points, so we might be a little bit thin on our talent points, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to go ahead and take Black Arrow. I've got 9k Marks of Ascension. It's not amazing by any means, but it's enough. Alright, so I just got finished turning in some marks for some Hands of Fate. We're going to start off with 41. Ooh, Frost Nova might be pretty good if we want to do some, like if we get Blink, I think Frost Nova might be pretty good with dealing with melee, at least in PvP situations, but we'll have to see. Come on, Locust Swarm, Locust Swarm. Steady Shot would also be really nice. I think Sprint is pretty good. Sprint is a pretty good option for a hunter, just to be able to kite. I'm gonna go ahead and take Sprint. Steady Shot. We definitely need Steady Shot. There's Devouring Plague. We got the Devouring Plague. Nice. Greater heal, get out of here. Shadow. There's the insect swarm right there. Have I been calling it locust swarm this whole time? Okay, it's called insect swarm. And that's what we want. And we're definitely going to replace totemic recall for it. Nice. We've got most of the pieces that I've wanted for this build, but I'm still looking for a filler spell at this point. Something like Steady Shot would be great, because we need... Okay, so here's a multi-shot. That might be very helpful for us. Oh my gosh. Are you seeing what I have to deal with here? Are you seeing this? Oh my gosh. I still need Steady Shot. I still need a filler. I mean, if we get something like Aim Shot, that would be really helpful as well. And a weapon enchant. We really need a weapon enchant. But for now, I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to come back tomorrow and we're going to hit the talents and get the rest of the cards done. And we're going to finish this build. Back at another day, we're going to try to do... we're going to try to finish up this build. We're going to try to see if we can't get this build to work. So here's an interesting one. Unstable Affliction. If we end up going the Shadow route, the caster route, this might be pretty decent for us. I'm going to pick up Unstable Affliction, see what we can get rid of. We can get rid of Revive. I think it might be interesting if we go with the Shadow Caster route. We'll have to see if we end up doing that. Unfortunately, I don't think I want any of these. I'm still looking for... Oh, Rapid Fire. Now that's a pretty big one. That's a big offensive cooldown for us. This would actually be really good for us to try to get out as many auto attacks as possible with our bow, so we can get that Wrath out quicker. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and take Rapid Fire, and I'll go ahead and replace Blessing of Kings. That sounds like a decent trade. Okay, so we didn't get too much from that round of cards, so I'm gonna go ahead and just get some more. You would think Steady Shot wouldn't be that hard to get, right? I mean, it's a common, right? Let me see. Look at that. Steady Shot isn't even a rare card. It's just a common. I just need Steady Shot as a filler. That's all I'm asking for. It can't be that hard to get, right? I think if we can't get Steady Shot in the next couple of tries, then we might just gonna have to do a Shadow Dot build instead. Which is unfortunate because I have Rapid Fire, so yeah, that wouldn't be ideal, but we'll have to find out. Metamorphosis. I mean, this would be really awesome to take if we do dip into the Shadow Dot form. You can use fire and shadow abilities, so we could use our dots while we're in meta form. I mean, I already have a meta build. If you guys haven't checked it out, I did a Felguard meta build. Go check that one out. So I don't know if I need to do it again, but it also costs another talent point. So I don't know if I want to do that. We'll skip that for now. Curse of the Elements. That could be interesting. Throw that onto someone, and then they would also take more damage from all of our shadow stuff. Would be kind of a cool concept. The only thing that I foresee with this is, well, what other epics would I want besides? I want Concussive Shot. I really want Concussive Shot. I know it's not a DPS tool, but it would be really helpful for PvP, and I kind of want to do some PvP with this build. Curse of the Elements would be great for PvP as well, to just pump out more damage, but I don't know how many more epic slots I've got left in me. Alright, I got 15. 15 more, let's go. Freezing Trap would be actually pretty cool for this build. But again, I'm still looking for Concussive Shot, so I don't know if I want to grab any epics right now. Gouge is interesting. But don't know if I want to do that. Oh, there's the volley, and we got our AoE tool. Look at that. So we're gonna go ahead and take volley. That's a pretty good pick right there. Still no steady shot. Crazy. It's crazy. I just might have to do a spell power build here. If I can't get steady shot. Steady shot is just a filler for us, but it's important to have a filler. And that's it. That's the last. These are the last 6 cards that I've got. So let's see if we can make it work. It's a cast time. It's a slightly not as good Psychic Scream, I believe. See, I didn't really think it'd be this hard to get a steady shot, but here we are. Now you guys know my pain. And I'm sure you all know the struggle just as well. So looking at Black Arrow. Oh my gosh, I'm Mr. T. Oh man. Look at that. I just got mohawked. Oh, what a throwback, man. The Mr. T grenades. Good times, good times. Alrighty, so with some enchants, I managed to get my 30-second cooldown of a Black Arrow down to 10 seconds, which actually might be overkill, seeing as it's a 15-second dot, so I might actually just loosen up on that and put some other enchants on. So I went with Munitions Expert here, because I think the faster we can shoot our bow, the more Wild Quiver procs we can get, which means the more Wild Wraths we can get off. I also went with some hit chance stuff because I wasn't able to fit any hit chance stuff in my talents, and my hit chance is probably really crappy. In fact, it is really bad. That's just the byproduct of being too spread on talents. For talents, I went Mental Quickness, so I could get some extra spell power onto my abilities. So I'm going to put 2 points into Improved Insect Swarm, so this will increase the spell damage. Increase our actual Insect Swarm damage, and actually increase the amount of damage to take from spells when it's on them. Alright, we're going to check this build out. Just going to do a world boss. I mean, what better way to test a build out than killing a world boss, right? It's such a shame that this build is a little bit lacking because it really is it is a lot of fun. The legendary RE itself is really cool, so I don't know. I think I can get this Shadow Hunter build to work, but I just don't have the right tools right now to make it as good as I'd want it to be, you know? I wonder if it would be worth just hard casting Wrath. Probably not, right? So after messing around with this build for a few days, I can honestly say that the legendary RE Harbinger of Pestilence is definitely better if you're going for the full caster route. However, this didn't stop me from trying to turn it into a Hunter Shadow Form build. And even though I couldn't get my Shadow Hunter build to be as strong as I wanted it to be, I still thought it had pretty good potential, and it was a lot of fun. Because actually in PvP, it didn't perform that terribly. In Battlegrounds, it was great at applying pressure with your dots to both healers and multiple targets. It's a bummer though that after several days of fishing for Steady Shot, I still wasn't able to find it, and unfortunately due to the RNG nature of the Alar Season 7 server, 1 or 2 spells can really make or break a build. So I decided it might be better to put a wrap on the Shadow Hunter build for now and maybe polish it over time. So my question for you is, do you see the potential in a Shadow Form Hunter build? What would you change about the way that I set up my build? Because I really do think this build has potential, and I'd like to hear everyone's thoughts on it. Harbinger of Pestilence is a very fun legendary RE, and even though I couldn't quite make it as good as I wanted it to be as a Shadow Hunter build, I give this 4 out of 5 marks of Ascension. Thanks so much for watching this video. This was a long one, so if you had stuck through the whole thing, then you're the real MVP. I appreciate that. You can expect more of my normal in-depth guides in the future, and I will see you all in the next video.